Hello, everyone.
Yo.
I'm Blaise,
Chris.
and as usual, we're here for This Week in Television for TVOvermind.com.
This week, similar to last week, we are going to totally skip the news, and if you watched last week's episode, you will know this week is all about finales. Mid-season finales, in Sons of Anarchy's case, series finales. So we're going to be talking about the 4 shows that we're all caught up on that we both watch, and that's Sons of Anarchy, The Flash, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, and Arrow. And we're going to dive into their finales.
Big stuff happened.
Exactly, that aired this past week. And that's pretty much going to be it. We're just going to talk for a little bit longer about them, what we thought of Sons as a whole, and what we thought so far about these shows, seasons up until this point. So, Blaise, I want to kick it over to you first.
Let's get into it.
Let's go. Sons of Anarchy, series finale. As should be expected, guys, spoilers all over this. Yeah, so if you're not caught up on 1 or 2 of these shows or anything, skip through the video. And we did warn you. So Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy.
Dig in.
So Sons of Anarchy, I've been really frustrated with this season and kind of the past couple seasons, as a whole. We've discussed how, the show just hasn't felt like what it used to. It hasn't sort of had that magic kind of, that feeling you get when watching it. And that article you sent me, actually, where it basically said how Kurt Sutter had kind of maybe felt like he had to always outdo himself and go more extreme.
Yeah, from Alan Sepinwall.
So I thought that was pretty much correct, and this season and everything has just felt like it's gone so extreme and been so unnecessary, but things have wrapped up nicely. Exactly what I expected, exactly what I wanted to. Pretty stable finale. I was happy.
The finale did what it could with the final season, where the show had been. I think it was a little. I think the final scene was a little self-indulgent, somewhat. Could have been a little. Sutter could have been more subtle, because exactly, the Jesus Christ, the Christ-like figure thing.
And then with the crows and the blood and body of Christ, as the crow reappears to. Come on, man.
Yeah, there's just a lot of bad CGI in it, and. But really, what has made me continue to watch Sons of Anarchy, what kept me with it, and what got me through the finale was the acting, specifically from Charlie Hunnam. I think that's what I'm really. I think I posted this on Twitter right after the finale. I was like, the thing I'm most grateful for from Sons of Anarchy is Charlie Hunnam's performance and really kind of discovering him as an actor. And I think
agreed.
That's what its legacy is going to be. I wrote an article about too, what the legacy of Sons of Anarchy would be, and I think it was a really good show in its earlier seasons. I'd even go up to season 4. I think season 4 was the turning point, but especially season 2 was fantastic.
Yeah,
it's a good show, a pretty good show peppered with great moments.
Agreed.
So. Overall, pretty satisfied. Anything specific else you want to say about it?
Not really.
All right, and we're going to be grading all of these finales. So, Blaise, you're great for Sons?
I give Sons a B. Yep. Just solid.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad we got closure with Jax, and I'm glad, again, it was just great to watch Charlie Hunnam for it was almost 2 hours. Yeah, exactly, right? And I don't know, I just think it was fitting for Jax to die, and I was happy that it ended that way. Any other way, to me would have felt like a cheat. So yeah, I'd agree. B grade for Sons of Anarchy. Now we're gonna switch gears, comic book show time, to The Flash. You want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. So The Flash, I thought this was actually. It wasn't what I expected almost. I knew we were gonna get teased by the Man in Yellow.
Reverse Flash.
Yeah, Reverse Flash, Professor Zoom, whatever you want to call him. You knew we weren't gonna get a name to the face or whatever, or even the face. You're just gonna get a blur. And but I thought it was really good otherwise because of all the emotional connections and. The finale, the mid-season finale, I thought it did enough, it dropped the bombs where, we got this character introduced finally. And then also we had the big reveals of, Barry telling Iris how he actually feels about her, and, that's a pretty big thing to happen. A lot of good things happened in this episode. I was very satisfied with it. didn't blow me away, but for it's showing its first season, I thought they did well.
Yeah, I agree. I would say this is my favorite Flash episode yet, and especially coming off of the crossover. I thought that would be really hard to do. And I think what you said, it nailed the emotional beat so well. You had the Iris and Barry scene. The Barry Joe scene.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh man, like I need my Barry Allen.
Yeah.
How it was just so well acted. Grant Gustin and Jesse Martin have just Jesse L. Martin, they've just become these roles, and that father-son relationship.
Especially now that Iris is I guess going to be moving out. We don't know if she actually will, but she was given so it's kind of like to see them sort of maybe come together a little more over that loss.
And I think too, it's just their relationship has kind of what's grounded the Flash always so far.
Yeah.
Like, he has his team and everything, but like it's them too. Kind of like how in the early seasons of Arrow, it was always Oliver and kind of and Diggle.
Yeah.
And then Oliver's relationship with his family was a lot more complex, but and I just think those scenes are what made it so strong for me. I loved all the other stuff. I loved really, who is Reverse Flash? Is it Wells? Is it possibly Eddie? Is it possibly both of them? All of that was cool too. The effects were great. But for me, like you said, it was really the emotional stuff that made this really go.
Yeah.
And Barry the scene with Barry and his actual dad too.
Yeah, exactly.
Was about how he didn't want him to hold his life back anymore. Really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Like you said, especially for a show in its first year.
What do you think about the ending?
I
guess a little more.
A theory time, and this is from a non-comics reader, so I think, and we've kind of discussed this already, that was either Wells from the future as Reverse Flash, or, especially because we got the two things of lightning, which I think one of those is actually Barry, but...
Yeah, same.
But I think we have both Wells and Eddie from the future teaming up together to be like Reverse Flashes or Professor Zooms, whichever name you said, the men in the yellow suits.
Yeah, because also I think we're sort of seeing, sorry to cut you off, but I think what we saw was, like, Wells came from the future, and there in that time a Reverse Flash. So I think that's Eddie, especially because of the key scene when he didn't harm him at all, and like, if it were Wells or future Wells, he would have obviously no reason to not at least knock Eddie down like he did everybody else. So. And even if you think of it from a future perspective, think if you look at yourself, so he probably was like, Man in Yellow stared at him for a second, probably just because he's like, whoa, it's me.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really cool. I'm really excited to see that play out. I hope that they don't drag it out too long, because I definitely want to know and don't want that to become the focus of the show.
I agree. And I really, really like this episode, and that's why if we're doing grades here, A- for it.
Yeah, I give it a B+.
We're not going to expand on them.
Next, we're going to move into Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which has been awesome this second season so far, and really, I thought this was an awesome mid-season finale. They picked up where the last episode cut us off, where Skye and Raina had left with Ward, and meanwhile they were taking the obelisk. They are also trying to get that to the designated spot, while the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Coulson and everybody else were basically in a race to get there first, and they do, and figure out kind of what's going on. So I thought this was an awesome episode. I loved it, especially being a huge Marvel comic reader. I was right. And, we got to see that Skye is actually Daisy Johnson, one of the 3 Marvel characters who have level 10 S.H.I.E.L.D. clearance, the highest. She's a huge part. I'm glad to see that they did that. I'm kind of curious whether they had that plot in mind from the beginning, where they were like, Skye's going to be this character, or if they saw with the turmoil that the show was in the first season, if they kind of switched things up and were like, how can we make this more Marvelized?
Yeah.
So I thought it was awesome. We got the reveal of the Inhumans finally. We see Skye, we get a little glimpse of Skye, a.k.a. Daisy Johnson, a.k.a. Quake, using her earthquake powers with that seismic blast. And then I liked what they did with Reyna.
Yeah.
Still not sure whether she's going to be like the comic book character Reyna or they're going to kind of change her up, but I really kind of like that I felt like she got what she deserved in that the whole season has been like, no, this needs to happen because like it's beautiful to have powers and now she's going to be some type of a monster and I want to see her react to that. So, what did you think?
As someone who's not a comic reader, no, I really, really enjoyed it. I think I probably enjoyed it. I knew a lot of people were like freaking out about maybe a little less than comic readers just because, I mean, I had to talk to you at the end. I was like, okay, obviously I know they're Inhumans. I know powers were activated, but I was like, what exactly is going on? Really, though, I loved that this arc that we've been building to really since the end of season 1 when we saw Coulson, kind of carving on the wall, that we, that we get to the city finally. We get to see what this obelisk does. It's just really nice payoff to kind of tide us off for these 3 months while the show's away. And I'm really excited now what this kind of more sci-fi element's going to do with it. I'm excited to see what Sky is going to do with her powers.
Yeah.
And how she reacts to having them.
Is she going to go by her actual name even?
Yeah, or be Daisy now, or, I really dug it. I was sad to see Trip go.
Yeah, I liked him a lot.
I mean, they didn't do much with him this season, which was kind of a shame because they introduced him last year, and he pretty much was like what Ward should have been.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he was like the cool, like he didn't have to try to be cool.
He wasn't the overly secret agent man.
Exactly.
He was just casual about it.
He was casual, but he was like, you knew he was a tough guy. You knew he was like, he's the one to go to. I really like BJ Britt in that role, so I'm sad to see him go because I don't think there's any coming back from crumbling.
I thought that it was really awesome that Sky didn't hesitate at all when she shot Ward.
Oh yeah, that was.
I thought that was really nice because I didn't.
She just could have killed him. But whatever.
Like you knew she was, she obviously feels somewhat conflicted about him still, but I like to see that she's sort of like, no, this is how, you betrayed us. And
I don't want S.H.I.E.L.D. to like try to make Ward a hero again, because like, it's just it's not believable to me that anyone on that team would ever trust him.
When you're in that type of a super secret agency, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, we know that you double crossed us, but. Other people have double-crossed us, but we're going to give you another chance.
Yeah, and it will be interesting now to see who with Whitehall dead.
Yeah.
Like, where, like, I mean, obviously Hydra's still
Ward
out there.
kind of steps into this bigger role.
Exactly. This mid-season finale, I'd give a B+, just because, I don't know, to me, emotionally-wise, like, how I said about The Flash really hitting a lot of emotional beats, this to me was much more just like plot, like, kind of those small, like, for example, I didn't feel Trip's death as much as I wanted to, or even, I didn't even feel, like, Mac, who we thought might be dead. I didn't feel the fear or anything. It didn't really leave a lot of room to breathe.
I give it an A- just because I sort of like the, more the cliffhanger aspect of it. I sort of like that they built up all this suspense and that they kept us wanting more.
Yeah, definitely. Arrow, mid-season finale. I don't think you get a more dark image or dark cliffhanger to leave off than killing off your main character.
Killing off.
I know, but hey, but as of right now, I mean,
it was awesome.
It was so good. It was really good. I mean, Arrow this season to me. It's been not up and down per se. I still think it's one of the best shows on TV. I think the creative team maybe spending a little more time like getting the Flash kind of foundation down. So like the whole mystery of who killed Sarah has been kind of dragged out, but we finally got the reveal that it was Thea.
It was.
And then that kind of reveal clicked. That's like because the episode to me before then was interesting. Like okay, I want to find out who killed Sarah. But when it became about Oliver like sacrificing himself for his family, that's when I was I loved it. I thought it was one of the best episodes of Arrow I've ever seen.
Exactly, emotional, and how they gave away that big reveal without that even being the biggest reveal of the episode. They saved that, and I was just hoping to sort of get a name or get a spoken, but that we literally got the opposite angle video. So I guess that explains. Well, we hopefully won't have to worry about Thea going fully bad now because of that. Yeah. But the question is, can Oliver get her to believe?
Yeah.
And is she too... Because also the fact that Merlin said, you can make people, like, you can influence people without them remembering. Has he kind of influenced her to the point where he's, like, made her like him so deeply, you know, that she's unwilling to, like, leave
almost
him?
like a Stockholm syndrome type thing.
And so we'll see. But yeah, I liked it a lot. I was happy to see more Roz and Maseo return, which was kind of sad.
Matt Nable as Roz, by the way.
Yeah, he was solid.
Very good.
Yeah,
Maseo was good too. It was
yeah,
good.
it was
that connection between the flashbacks finally.
Yeah, and it was just like, you know, I like that he still valued his friendship with Oliver. You know, that was nice to see, at least because the League are such tough and
very hard people.
Yeah, they don't have to throw away a friendship. That's not a problem for them. But so, you know, he hasn't fully sort of like lost himself in what he's had to become or what he's had to do sort of to stay alive.
Definitely. Also, speaking, because you touched upon what, you know, Malcolm's kind of plan thing, the reveal that he was kind of behind that. What do you think his real plan is? Because he had to know Oliver wasn't dead.
Like he wasn't gonna send him off on the hope that he won.
Exactly.
I think it could be the. See, I don't know. Part of me thinks it could be the resurrection of Tommy.
That's what I was thinking too.
But again, I don't know, because you want to think that, oh, now he's going to take both of them to the Lazarus pit.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, if he knows where it is, why did he wait so long, and why did he need to get Oliver killed to bring both of them back? I've also read how he like carries the vial around on his neck, and that could possibly be like Lazarus pit juices or whatever, and that he can just pour that down Oliver's throat, and they won't even have to submerge them in the pit. I don't know. I'm actually pretty stumped with this one.
Yeah, that's what's got me so excited too, is that not only do we get this big cliffhanger with that, but the mystery behind why Merlin put this into action and everything is really cool. And I don't know, and this episode worked so well for me too. Again, going kind of back to a similar way with the Flash, the emotional scenes were awesome. Like Oliver's goodbyes to everybody were great. His you know, his scene with Theo was really good. I loved just how like him and Diggle just was like handshake. You know, he told Roy to get...
Yeah.
And then obviously, I mean, the big scene, you know, unless you hate Oliver and Felicity, like I know some people do, I don't, I love them, was when, was his scene with Felicity, and even moving past him telling her that he loves her part, which I thought was great, I loved that, I rewatched that scene, I rewatched the Roz fight scene just like yesterday. I love that she was like having to urge him to kind of go against himself, and it's like, I need you to kill like him because it's so important that you come back for me, but for like us, for this thing. I thought it was really, really well acted. Since we've been grading everything, A+ for me.
I give it an A.
Yeah, I loved it.
If I could give it between an A+ and an A, I would do that probably. But
an A.5+.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah, that will wrap it up. We're not gonna do best and worst because we pretty much just did that. Yeah. So as always, make sure you follow Blaise and myself on Twitter at Blaise Hopkins, at CKinger13, or crap, it's probably below. And then at TVOvermind as well. Make sure to visit TVOvermind.com, check out all the articles we have. We got reviews, news, all that jazz. Follow, subscribe to our channel here, watch these videos. And I think we'll probably do another video before Christmas.
Might sneak one more in.
Yeah, maybe like a top or best of the year video. But if not,
keep watching over the break
and enjoy the holidays